Alright, so let's now have a look at this onboard video from a rental car driver in an outdoor track. And to be honest, I had to rewatch this lap a couple of times or more, because to be honest, there's not too much he has to improve. So we're gonna go straight to the point. He's doing a pretty good job. He's hitting pretty much all the apexes. So let's just have a look at what we can improve, even though, as I said, there's not too much. So let's get started. So this is starting into the last corner, launching onto the main straight, even though it's not really straight. What I notice is that, I mean, if we want to seek perfection, we could be slightly closer to the barriers here to the left, you know. If we're definitely going for the pole position lap in quali, I would suggest to be a little bit close to the left. Let's mark it down. So you see we are almost perfect, but we aren't, you know, fully close. I'm not saying we should be that close of touching the tires, but we could be a bit closer, you know. And if we are, instead of being here, let's say with the left hand tires, we could be there. I believe we could open up this corner a bit more. Imagine if you were there instead of being here. I'm pretty sure we could open up the corner a little bit more here in this area. By the apex, we would have a bit more speed, right? So as I said, I would say try to be a little bit more to the left, risking to clip the tires a little bit. You know, sometimes you will end up touching them. You know, it's eventually it's going to happen, but you know, nothing's going to happen to the kart. You know, it's built for hitting things, for hitting the barriers. So I would try to get close to the limit, and you'll see you're gonna pick up a little bit. You don't really gain speed here. You're gonna gain speed here in the mid exit, in this area, okay? Because the corner is wider. Always remember, the wider the corner, okay? The wider the corner, the better the mid exit. The tighter the corner, all right? Imagine if you were here for some reason, you had to overtake somebody, like a slow driver here. If you're having to take a tight corner, then the mid exit will be terrible. Okay, you won't really lose on the entry. You're gonna lose from the mid to the exit. Okay, so always remember that. I think you could optimize. Like, look, we're looking at very small details right now because I think the lap was pretty good. So let's keep going. Unfortunately, you don't have the audio from this video. I'm not quite sure why. But anyways, we hit the apex quite well. I'm not sure whether we are hitting the brakes or not. I would suspect we just lift. Let me see the left pedal actually. Or maybe we just stop the brakes. Maybe we just stop them. But anyways, we end up quite well on the exit. We are using quite a bit of track without going over the sausage here. So I wouldn't comment anything here on the exit. I think it's quite good. Also here, if we want to make a little bit less distance, we could be slightly closer. Like, it's difficult to see exactly because there seems to be a shadow. But if we want to make less distance, I think we have still like 20 centimeters here. But as I said, there's a very small bit of improvement. Of course, you don't want to end up over the grass. But I think now with your line, your left tires are going to be like here. Whereas I think if you keep a more like aggressive line, you can be like that. You still don't end up over the grass, but that's gonna give you a little bit better preparation for the next corner. You will be more to the left, whereas in the current line, as you will see now, you're a bit more like that. So I think that could help, to be honest. And I don't think it's gonna make less distance, and at the same time gonna give you better opening up for the next corner. You see, we're ending up a bit here. We are preparing well, to be honest. 9 out of 10, but as you see, there could be even more preparation if you want to make it extreme to the left. Now, you know, I can't see too well from this camera angle, but I would suspect there's like 40-50 centimeters left to the left where the white line. Even though this corner looks easy flat from your POV, the apex is good, the steering is very good. So I'm not sure how much it would have paid off, as I said, to go and open up the entry. But normally, you know, when you open up the entry like that, you're gonna make more meters because you're gonna open up more. But at the same time, you should theoretically have less steering angle here. So theoretically, you should have less crop speed, and theoretically, you should have better exits. I mean, also. Also here, to be honest, I mean, this is a good line. To be honest, I can't complain too much. I don't know why I have the frame drops from the video anyways, but this looks pretty good. We are opening up almost to the maximum. So you're taking a strategy that basically allows you to brake quite straight, quite deep, not fully to the left. So I guess there's gonna be more grip here for some reason. So if you're doing this line, I believe that you're taking this because there's more grip. Like the extreme would be to go all the way to the left here, you know? Because like, looks, this line that you're doing right now, it seems to be like this, something like that. Whereas if you would be even more extreme, you could be like that, you know, like that. But if you're doing that and maybe there's more grip where you are, that will be a better option, even though you theoretically make less, like you open it up less. So it all comes down to the grip level on the track, you know. So I can't complain. I think it's a pretty good line. The only thing I would do, I would push more on the brakes. I think this is probably this is French, frein. I don't know what that maybe that means you have to brake. So I suspect you have to use the brakes in this corner. And what I see is that the steering is a little bit too easy, let's say. When you're on the limit, the rear is gonna slide a bit, all right? And I'm not sure we are fully over the limit here. So I would want you to try to induce the rotation with the brakes, so with your driving style, aggressiveness, rather with the steering. But I'm not saying you have to pump, give a big steering input. No, you have to, I think, brake quite deep and get the car to rotate with the braking rather than with the steering. Like we're doing all the rotation with the steering now. We're not doing any rotation with the brakes. The apex point looks good. We're using the apex quite well. Too bad we're having the frame drops. Upsets me quite a bit. We're opening up. So this is a sequence of corners. So it's not just one corner. Now we are preparing quite decent. I mean, it's not maximum, but again, it all depends where the grip is. Apex in the right place, I would say. We use the track properly in the exit. Here we seem to be preparing very well, so there's no complaining here. You're doing it well. You're all the way to the right. Seems to be pretty good. I'm not sure whether we're clipping the brakes in that previous corner. I'm sure that. So we have a little bit of a rotation here. You see in this area. That's kind of good. We're not using the whole track, but I think that's a good strategy because it means you're preparing fully to the left, so that's also good. We could be close to the apex here. Yeah, I think here we were pushing quite a bit and we slightly missed it. I think we could have been closer, precisely in this area. You know, if you ask me how could I make the perfect lap, you should have been in this area with the beginning of the left tire. Sorry, with the right hand tires, so with the inside tires. I think we're giving up 40 centimeters or so. You can't see very well because of the shade, the shadow. But like, yeah, I think we're giving up this bit. And I'm pretty sure you make less distance and there's also more grip over there. So I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's going to work well there. Using the whole curb on the exit, that seems to be really good. Also here, track usage. I mean, I'm not sure whether you can use more. To be honest, I would give it a try. You know, I would give it a try to use a little bit more of this and then open up the steering or the apex, like properly opening up, like just let the car. But I think we can try to go over the black, you know. I think you can try to put the inside wheel here, precisely in this area. Actually, that's a bit too early. I think in this area you can put you can aim to apex. And then this point you can try to open up the steering wheel so that the car is gonna release on the exit and pick up some extra speed. Whereas I think we're not. I mean, like as I said, I should have been here on track to tell exactly, but we should have been trying at least to make less distance. The track is just pretty good on the exit, and again, we could be a bit close to the left. So I think there's very small things here. I mean, the video is pretty good, the lap is pretty good, the driving is quite good. As I said, in just one braking spot, I think I would have used a bit more the brakes to rotate the car, as we mentioned. And overall, I think we can gain 10-20 centimeters here and there to just open up the entries a bit more. And in the last two corners, as we mentioned, to use a bit more, like even more precise at the apex by making less distance and perhaps finding more grip. Because remember, like the closer you are to the apex normally, the more grip there is. Therefore, you can carry more mid speed. So overall, really good lap from your side. Though I think there could be some minor improvements. And please let me know. I mean, if you ever get to watch this video, how you feel after trying those things, and yeah, how much improve your lap time.